The massive space station hung in the darkness between stars like a city made of metal and light. Inside its curved corridors, beings from across the galaxy walked together. Some had blue skin and tall bodies. Others looked like walking crystals that sparkled when they moved. A few resembled giant insects with many arms. Commander Zekthara stood in the center of the main meeting room. His green skin looked darker than usual under the bright lights. He had called this emergency meeting because something was very wrong, something that made even the bravest warriors in the galaxy feel afraid. "We have a serious problem," Zekthara said to the group around the large table. 17 of our best scout ships have disappeared near the planet called Earth. All of them were on simple watching missions. All of them vanished without sending any messages back to us. Agent Mordun raised one of his crystal arms. His body made a soft ringing sound when he moved. "Commander, our records show these ships followed all safety rules. They stayed far away from the planet. They used invisible technology so the humans could not see them. Then they just stopped talking to us." The room fell quiet. These were not ordinary ships that had gone missing. They were the Federation's most advanced spy vessels. Each one could become completely invisible and watch planets from space without being detected. The crews were trained for years before going on missions like this. Fleet Admiral Kesara clicked her sharp mouth parts together. She was taller than everyone else in the room, with 4 arms and large black eyes. "This makes no sense," she said. "Earth is a backward planet. The humans there have barely learned to travel in space. They should not be able to find our ships, let alone capture them." "Maybe they crashed," suggested another officer. "Space around Earth has many small rocks floating around." "No," Mordun replied, his crystal body flashing different colors as he spoke. "We checked for crash signals, we looked for pieces of the ships, we found nothing. It is like they simply stopped existing." Zekthara walked to the large window that showed the stars outside. He had been in charge of watching Earth for many years. At first, it seemed like a simple job. The humans were interesting, but not dangerous. They had nuclear weapons but could barely reach their own moon. They fought each other more than they worked together. But something had changed in recent years. Earth's technology was growing faster than expected, much faster. The humans were learning things that should have taken them hundreds more years to discover. "Tell us about the last ship we lost," Zekthara said. Mordun touched a control panel, and a picture appeared in the air above the table. It showed a sleek silver ship about the size of a small building. "This is the Shadow Wing. Captain Yextar was in command with a crew of 23. They were our best team for this type of mission." The picture changed to show Earth, blue and white and beautiful, spinning slowly in space. "Shadow Wing reached Earth orbit exactly 34 days ago. They sent their first report as planned. Everything was normal. The humans showed no signs of knowing they were there." "What was in that first report?" asked Admiral Kesara. "The usual things. They counted human military bases. They watched their communication signals. They took pictures of their cities." Captain Yextar noted that human technology seemed more advanced than our old report suggested, but nothing that should worry us. And then nothing. 6 hours after the first report, all contact stopped. We tried calling them on all frequencies. We sent other ships to look for them. We found empty space. Zekthara turned back to face the group. "This pattern is the same for all 17 ships. They arrive, they send one report, then they disappear, always within the first day of reaching Earth." A young officer near the back of the room raised her hand. She had purple skin and silver hair, marking her as someone from the Twilight Worlds. "Commander, what if the humans can see our ships? What if their invisible technology does not work against them?" "Impossible," Admiral Kesara said. Quickly, "Our stealth systems are thousands of years more advanced than anything humans have. They use radio waves to communicate. We use quantum field manipulation. They should not even know we exist." But Zekthara was not so sure anymore. He had been studying the reports from Earth for months. Human technology was advancing in strange ways. They were making discoveries that seemed to come from nowhere. New materials that were stronger than anything they should know how to make. Computer systems that worked faster than their technology should allow. There is something else, Morden said quietly. Something we have not talked about yet. Everyone looked at him. The crystal being's body had turned a dark red color, which meant he was very worried about something. What is it? Zekthara asked. 3 months ago, we detected strange signals coming from Earth. They were very weak, almost impossible to notice. But when we studied them carefully, we found something disturbing. The room waited. The signals were using our communication frequencies, not human frequencies, ours. Someone on Earth was sending messages using Federation technology. The silence that followed was complete. No one moved. No one made a sound. Finally, Admiral Kesara spoke. Are you saying the humans have learned to use our technology? I am saying someone on Earth knows how our communication systems work. The signals were short and encrypted, so we could not understand what they were saying. But they definitely came from the planet's surface. Zekthara felt cold fear move through his body. If humans had captured Federation technology and learned to use it, then everything changed. The missing ships might not have crashed or been destroyed. They might have been captured. Their crews might be prisoners. Their technology might be in human hands. We need to know what happened to our people, he said. I am calling for a full investigation fleet. Our best ships, our best warriors, our best scientists. We will go to Earth and find out what happened. To our scouts. And if the humans have become hostile? Asked Admiral Kesara. If they have somehow learned to fight us? Zekthara looked out at the stars again. Somewhere out there, Earth continued to spin around its yellow sun. On its surface, billions of humans lived their lives, probably not knowing that beings from other worlds had been watching them, or maybe they did know. Maybe they had known all along. Then we will learn just how dangerous these humans have become, he said. But we cannot leave our people behind. We cannot let 17 ships disappear without finding out why. The meeting ended with plans for the largest Federation fleet ever sent to Earth. None of them knew they were about to discover that the humans had been waiting for them. Dr. Lisa Cameron pushed her glasses up her nose and stared at the computer screen. The numbers dancing across it made no sense at first, but after years of studying space, she had learned to see patterns that others missed. And right now, those patterns were telling her something impossible. Jake, you need to see this, she called across the small underground laboratory. Dr. Jake Morrison rolled his chair over to her desk. He had been a fighter pilot before becoming a scientist, and that experience had taught him to trust his instincts. Right now, those instincts were telling him that Lisa had found something important. What am I looking at? He asked, studying the waves and lines on her screen. Gravity readings from the deep space sensors. Look at this pattern. Lisa pointed to a series of spikes that appeared every few hours. These readings show objects appearing and disappearing in Earth's orbit. Big objects, ship-sized objects. Jake felt his heart beat faster. How big are we talking? Each one is roughly the size of a football stadium. They appear for a few minutes, then vanish completely. No heat signatures, no radio signals, nothing. Like they were never there at all. Dr. Amy Rodriguez looked up from her own computer station. She was the youngest member of their 3-person team, but she had a gift for understanding complex technology. Lisa, I'm seeing electromagnetic disturbances that match your timing exactly. Whatever is up there is using power sources unlike anything we have on Earth. The 3 scientists worked in a secret facility built deep under Mount Wilson Observatory in California. Most people thought they were just studying distant stars and planets. They had no idea that Lisa, Jake, and Amy were part of a much larger project that few people knew existed. Pull up the data from last Tuesday, Jake said. I want to see the pattern from the day we detected that big spike. Amy's fingers moved quickly across her keyboard. New information filled her screen. Here it is. Look at this electromagnetic signature. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. Lisa leaned back in her chair and took off her glasses to clean them. Guys, I think we need to face what this data is telling us. These aren't natural phenomena, these aren't human spacecraft, and they're not random events. You're saying they're alien ships, Jake said quietly. I'm saying that objects using advanced technology have been appearing in Earth orbit on a regular schedule for at least 6 months. They stay hidden from normal detection, but our deep sensors can track their gravitational effects. Amy pulled up another screen full of data. There's more. I've been analyzing the electromagnetic patterns, and I think I can predict when the next one will appear. Before anyone could respond, the heavy metal door to their laboratory opened. Colonel Ben Mitchell walked in, his military uniform crisp and his face serious. He was a tall man with gray hair and cold blue eyes that seemed to see everything. Pack up your equipment, he said without greeting them. We've got work to do. Lisa, Jake, and Amy exchanged glances. They had been expecting this moment for months. Colonel Mitchell only visited their lab when something big was happening. We caught another one, the colonel continued. 30 minutes ago, our tracking stations detected an object matching your predictions, Dr. Rodriguez. Our intercept team successfully brought it down. Brought it down? Jake asked. You mean you shot down an alien spacecraft? We disabled its engines using electromagnetic pulse weapons and forced it to land in the Nevada desert. The craft and its crew are now in our custody. Amy stood up so quickly that her chair rolled backward. Its crew? You're saying you captured living aliens? Colonel Mitchell smiled, but it was not a happy smile. Dr. Rodriguez, this makes number 17. We've been capturing alien spy ships for over a year now. Each one that comes to watch Earth becomes our prisoner. The 3 scientists stared at him in shock. They had suspected that their government knew about the strange objects in orbit, but they had never imagined anything like this. 17 ships? Lisa whispered. How many aliens are we talking about? 437 individuals from various species. They're being held at a classified facility where our teams are learning everything they can about alien technology. Jake felt dizzy. This is incredible. We've made first contact with alien civilizations and nobody knows about it? The public doesn't know, Colonel Mitchell corrected. But every major government on Earth has been informed. We've been working together to capture these spy missions and study their technology. Amy sat back down heavily. That explains why Earth technology has been advancing so quickly in recent years. We've been reverse engineering alien equipment. Exactly. The materials science breakthroughs, the new computer processors, the advanced energy systems, they're all based on what we've learned from our guests. Guests? Lisa said. You mean prisoners? Colonel Mitchell's expression became more serious. Dr. Cameron, these beings came to Earth to spy on us. They used invisible ships to watch our military bases, our cities, our people. We had every right to defend ourselves. But have you tried talking to them? Jake asked. Maybe they're just curious about us, maybe they mean no harm. We have tried talking to them. Most refuse to speak at all. The few who do talk only want to know when we'll let them go home. The colonel walked to the door. Which brings me to why I'm here. We've learned from the aliens that more ships are coming. Many more. A whole fleet is on its way to find out what happened to their scouts. The room fell silent. The implications hit all 3 scientists at the same time. They're coming to rescue their people, Amy said. Or to attack us, added Jake. Either way, we need to be ready, Colonel Mitchell said. Your job is to help us understand their technology better before they arrive. The facility in Nevada has alien computers, weapons systems, and propulsion engines that our teams are still trying to figure out. Lisa put her glasses back on and looked at her computer screen again. The data showing alien ships in Earth orbit suddenly seemed much more frightening. Colonel, what if they have more advanced weapons than we do? What if their fleet is too strong for us to capture? Then we'll find out just how much we've learned from studying their technology for the past year. Our engineers have been working day and night to build defenses based on alien designs. We've improved their weapons, made their shields stronger, and learned to use their communication systems. Jake stood up and began gathering his equipment. So, when this alien fleet arrives, they'll be facing their own technology, but better versions of it. That's the idea. They sent scouts to spy on a primitive planet. Instead, they trained us to fight them. Amy was already packing her computers. How long do we have before they get here? Colonel Mitchell checked his watch. Our alien prisoners estimate that the rescue fleet will arrive within the next few weeks. We need to be ready for them. As the three scientists packed their equipment, Lisa couldn't help but feel excited and terrified at the same time. Humanity was about to face its first real test against an alien civilization. But thanks to the very aliens who had come to spy on them, Earth might actually be ready for the challenge. "Colonel," she said as they prepared to leave, "what happens if we win? What happens to Earth after we defeat an alien fleet?" Colonel Mitchell paused at the door. "Then, Dr. Cameron, everything changes. Earth stops being the planet that gets watched and becomes the planet that does the watching." The stars suddenly stopped moving and became points of light again. The massive Federation fleet had dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. 12 heavy cruiser ships arranged themselves in perfect formation around the flagship, Starfire, a vessel so large it could hold an entire city inside its hull. Supreme Admiral Velthok stood on the bridge of the Starfire, his reptilian features hard with determination. His red scales gleamed under the bridge lights, and his yellow eyes stared at the viewing screen showing the distant sun and planets of the Sol system. Somewhere in that system, 17 Federation scout ships and over 400 crew members had vanished without a trace. "Science Officer Nixara, begin long-range scans," he ordered. "I want to know everything about this system before we move 1 kilometer closer to that planet." Nixara was a graceful being from an ocean world, with smooth blue skin and large silver eyes. Her people were known throughout the galaxy for their ability to understand complex sensor data. Her webbed fingers moved across her control panel as she began the deepest scan the Federation had ever attempted on the Sol system. "Admiral, initial scans show no trace of our missing vessels," she reported. "However, I am detecting some very unusual readings from the third planet." "Unusual how?" "Sir, there are massive underground installations across several continents. The energy output from these facilities is enormous, much larger than anything a planet at Earth's technological level should be able to produce." Chief Tactical Officer Raxgor stepped forward. He was a heavily built warrior from a volcanic world, with thick gray skin that could withstand extreme heat. His people were the Federation's finest soldiers, bred for battle and trained from childhood to fight. But even Raxgor looked worried. "Admiral, respectfully, I believe we may be walking into a trap. If the humans have had access to our technology, for months or even years they could have learned to use our weapons against us." Admiral Velthok turned to face his senior staff. Around him, the bridge crew worked quietly at their stations. These were some of the most experienced space officers in the galaxy, veterans of dozens of military campaigns. Yet he could see uncertainty in their faces. "Explain your concerns, Tactical Officer." "Sir, 17 consecutive scout missions have disappeared. These were not exploratory vessels or research ships. They were military reconnaissance craft with full defensive capabilities and emergency protocols. For all of them to vanish suggests either a natural phenomenon that we don't understand, or an enemy that has learned to counter our technology." Science Officer Nixara looked up from her instruments. "Admiral, I'm detecting energy signatures that match our own technology, but the power levels are much higher than our specifications allow." "What do you mean?" "Sir, our sensors show Federation-type shield generators, weapons systems, and propulsion engines operating on Earth's surface, but they're producing 3 times the power output that our technology should be capable of." The bridge fell silent. Everyone understood what this meant. Somehow the humans had not only captured Federation technology, but they had improved it. Admiral Velthok walked to the large viewing screen that dominated the front of the bridge. In the distance, he could see the small blue dot that was Earth. It looked peaceful and harmless from this distance. Beautiful even. But if the sensor readings were correct, that small planet now represented the greatest threat the Federation had ever faced. "Communications Officer Dexara, any response to our long-range signals to the missing scout ships?" Dexara was a tall, thin being with translucent skin and 4 arms. Her species had developed the most advanced communication technology in the galaxy. "No response, Admiral. I've tried all emergency frequencies and backup protocols. If any of our people are alive down there, They're either unable to respond or being prevented from responding. Or they're cooperating with their captors, suggested Raxgor grimly. That's enough, Admiral Velthok said sharply. Federation officers don't betray their duty. But privately, he wondered, if human scientists had been studying Federation technology for months, they would need teachers. The fastest way to learn about alien systems would be to convince alien experts to help willingly. Admiral, Nixara called out, her voice tense with excitement and fear. I'm picking up new energy readings from Earth. Multiple locations are powering up what appear to be very large weapon systems. Defensive or offensive? Unknown, sir. But the power levels suggest they could target objects in space, possibly at this range. Raxgor moved to his tactical station and began running calculations. Admiral, if the humans have developed weapons based on our technology, our ships could be in danger even at this distance. How is that possible? We're at the edge of their solar system. Sir, our most advanced weapons can strike targets across several light years. If the humans have improved upon our designs the way they seem to have improved our power systems, they might have developed weapons with even greater range. Admiral Velthok felt a chill run down his spine. The Federation had sent this fleet expecting to face a primitive civilization with basic space technology. Instead, they might be facing an enemy that had spent months or years preparing for exactly this moment. All ships raise defensive shields, he ordered. Combat alert status, prepare for possible hostile contact. Throughout the fleet, alarms began to sound. 12 of the Federation's most powerful warships went to full battle readiness. Weapon systems came online, shields reached maximum strength, and fighter craft prepared for launch. Admiral, Dexara said suddenly, I'm receiving a transmission from Earth. It's on one of our communication frequencies. One of our frequencies? How do they know our communication codes? Unknown, sir, but the transmission is in perfect galactic standard language. Admiral Velthok felt his blood grow cold. Galactic Standard was the universal language used by all Federation species. It was not something humans should know how to speak. Put it through. A voice filled the bridge, speaking clearly in the language of the galaxy. But the accent was strange, foreign, human. Federation Fleet, this is General Stone of the United Earth Defense Command. We are aware of your presence at the edge of our solar system. We wish to inform you that your reconnaissance missions have provided valuable intelligence about your technology and military capabilities. We thank you for your contribution to human advancement. The bridge crew stared at each other in shock. Not only did the humans know they were there, but they were openly admitting to capturing Federation vessels. The transmission continued. We also wish to inform you that all 437 members of your missing crews are alive and well. They are being treated according to appropriate standards for prisoners of war. Prisoners of war. The humans considered themselves at war with the Federation. Admiral Velthok, we suggest you consider your next actions very carefully. Earth is no longer the primitive world your intelligence report suggested. We have had considerable time to study and improve upon your technology. Any aggressive actions toward our planet will be met with appropriate defensive measures. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. They know my name, Admiral, Velthok whispered. They know who I am. Sir, Nixara said quietly, our prisoners must have provided them with detailed intelligence about our military structure and personnel. Raxgor was studying his tactical displays with growing alarm. Admiral, I'm detecting massive defensive installations across Earth's surface. Weapon systems that appear to be based on our technology but with power signatures I've never seen before. How many installations? Hundreds, sir. Possibly thousands. It's like the entire planet has been turned into a fortress. Admiral Velthok realized that everything had changed. The Federation had sent this fleet to rescue their people from a primitive world. Instead, they faced an enemy that had been preparing for this moment for months, using Federation technology that had somehow been made even more powerful. All ships, maintain position, he ordered. No one moves closer to Earth without my direct command. The most powerful military fleet in Federation history held its position at the edge of the solar system. Afraid to advance toward a small blue planet that had somehow become their greatest enemy. 300 feet beneath the Nevada desert, General Patricia Stone stood before the largest holographic display ever built by human hands. The underground facility known as Site Omega stretched for miles in every direction, carved from solid rock and filled with technology that would have seemed like magic just 2 years ago. 12 heavy cruisers and 1 command ship, reported Colonel Mitchell, his eyes focused on the tactical readouts. Total estimated personnel, 50,000 alien warriors, scientists, and support crew. General Stone nodded calmly. She was a small woman with gray hair and sharp green eyes, but everyone at Site Omega knew she was the toughest person in the room. She had been in charge of Earth's alien technology project from the very beginning, and she had prepared for this moment every single day. Dr. Lisa Cameron stood at another console, her hands moving quickly across alien control panels that she now understood better than their original creators. General, their weapon systems are charging. Energy readings suggest they're preparing for battle. Then they've made a critical mistake, General Stone replied with a cold smile. Jake, activate the communication array. It's time our visitors learned what we've been doing with their technology. Dr. Jake Morrison moved to a control station that looked like it belonged on an alien spaceship, because it did. The humans had taken communication equipment from 17 captured Federation vessels and combined them into the most powerful transmission system in the solar system. General, we're ready to broadcast on all Federation frequencies. They'll hear us perfectly. Amy, are our defensive systems online? Dr. Amy Rodriguez looked up from her position at the master control station. Around her, dozens of screens showed the status of weapons installations across the planet. All systems are green, General. We have over 2,000 defensive positions, ready to fire. Each one is using improved Federation technology with 3 times the power output of the original designs. General Stone walked to the center of the command room. Above her head, the holographic display showed the alien fleet hanging motionless at the edge of the solar system. She could see every ship, every weapon, every detail that their advanced sensors could detect. Open the channel, Jake. Channel. Open, General. General Stone began to speak, her words being transmitted across space in the alien's own language. She had learned to speak Galactic Standard by listening to hundreds of hours of recordings from their prisoners. Federation Fleet, this is General Stone of the United Earth Defense Command. We are aware of your presence at the edge of our solar system. We wish to inform you that your reconnaissance missions have provided valuable intelligence about your technology and military capabilities. We thank you for your contribution to human advancement. She paused, knowing that her words would cause shock and confusion aboard the alien ships. Let them understand that Earth was no longer the helpless planet they thought they were watching. We also wish to inform you that all 437 members of your missing crews are alive and well. They are being treated according to appropriate standards for prisoners of war. Colonel Mitchell smiled as he watched the alien fleet's formation begin to shift. General, they're definitely surprised. Their ships are moving into defensive positions. Admiral Velthok, General Stone continued, reading the alien commander's name from intelligence reports provided by their prisoners. We suggest you consider your next actions very carefully. Earth is no longer the primitive world your intelligence, report suggested. We have had considerable time to study and improve upon your technology. Any aggressive actions toward our planet will be met with appropriate defensive measures. She ended the transmission and turned to her staff. Now we wait and see how they respond. The answer came quickly. A new voice filled the command center, speaking in heavily accented English. It was deep and rough, like gravel grinding together. General Stone, this is Admiral Velthok of the Federation Fleet. You are holding Federation citizens against their will. We demand their immediate release. General Stone activated the communication system again. Admiral, your people came to Earth as spies. They used invisible ships to watch our military installations, our cities, and our people without our permission. Under the laws of any civilized world, that makes them prisoners of war. Our missions were peaceful observation only. We meant no harm to your world. Peaceful? General Stone laughed. Admiral, we found weapons systems on every single ship we captured. We found detailed intelligence reports about our military capabilities and weaknesses. Your scouts weren't tourists. They were preparing for invasion. Dr. Lisa Cameron looked up from her console. General, I'm detecting massive power buildups across their fleet. They're charging weapons systems. Amy, what's our defensive status? Dr. Rodriguez checked her displays. All planetary defense systems are online and ready. Our orbital platforms are in position. If they want to fight, we can give them one. Colonel Mitchell was monitoring the alien fleet's movements. General, they're not advancing, but they're not retreating either. I think they're trying to decide what to do. Jake opened the channel again. The communication system activated, and General Stone spoke once more to the alien admiral. Admiral Velthok, let me explain Earth's position clearly. For over a year, your Federation has sent spy ships to watch our world. Each time we captured those ships and their crews. Each time we learned more about your technology. Each time we improved our defenses. She gestured toward the holographic display showing Earth's hidden weapons installations. You see, Admiral, your scouts didn't just spy on us. They taught us. Every piece of equipment we captured, every alien we questioned, every technology we reverse engineered, it all made us stronger. That's impossible. The alien admiral's voice crackled through the speakers. Your species shouldn't be capable of understanding our technology. Dr. Amy Rodriguez stepped forward. Admiral, this is Dr. Rodriguez, Earth's Chief Technology Officer. We didn't just understand your technology, we made it better. Your weapons now fire with 3 times their original power. Your shields are stronger than you designed them to be. Your engines are faster than you thought possible. How? Dr. Jake Morrison answered. Because humans don't just copy things, Admiral. We improve them. We take what works and make it work better. Your Federation made the mistake of thinking we were primitive just because our original technology was less advanced than yours. General Stone took control of the conversation again. Here's what's going to happen, Admiral. You have 2 choices. You can try to attack Earth and discover just how thoroughly we've upgraded your own weapon systems. Or you can discuss more civilized relations between our peoples. The communication channel was quiet for several minutes. Finally, Admiral Velthok spoke again, and his voice sounded different, less confident, more uncertain. What kind of relations do you propose? First, the Federation recognizes Earth as a sovereign world with full membership rights in your galactic community. Second, all surveillance operations against Earth cease immediately. Third, you establish proper diplomatic relations with our government. And in exchange? General Stone smiled. In exchange, Admiral, we'll consider sharing our technological improvements with the Federation. Your people could benefit greatly from what we've learned. Dr. Lisa Cameron added quietly, Oh, and Admiral, you should probably inform your government that those 17 missing scout ships, they're all intact and operational. We've been very careful with our guests. Another long silence followed. Then Admiral Velthok spoke again, and this time his voice carried the weight of defeat. General Stone, I request permission to send a small diplomatic vessel to Earth's surface for negotiations. Permission granted, Admiral. We'll be waiting for you. As the communication ended, the command center erupted in quiet celebration. They had done it. Earth had faced down the most powerful military force in the galaxy and won without firing a single shot. Colonel Mitchell shook his head in amazement. General, we just became a galactic power in the space of one conversation. General Stone looked up at the holographic display, where the alien fleet was already beginning to stand down from battle alert. No, Colonel. We became a galactic power, the moment we decided to learn instead of fear. Everything else was just letting the galaxy know about it. The negotiation room at Site Omega had been carefully prepared for this historic moment. Human and alien technology worked together to create a space where 2 very different species could meet safely. The air was filtered to accommodate alien breathing requirements, and the lighting had been adjusted to be comfortable for eyes that evolved under different suns. Admiral Velthok sat across from General Stone at a table made from materials taken from captured Federation ships. His red scales seemed duller than before, and his yellow eyes showed the strain of the past few days. Behind him stood 2 other Federation officers, Science Officer Nix Ara with her blue skin and silver eyes, and Tactical Officer Raxgor with his thick gray hide. General Stone, Admiral Velthok began, I must admit that the Federation Council finds your proposals difficult to accept. General Stone leaned back in her chair. Admiral, let me make this very simple for you. Earth is no longer the primitive world you thought you were watching. We have your technology, we've improved it, and we're not afraid to use it if necessary. Dr. Lisa Cameron sat at the General's right side with a tablet showing real-time data from sensors across the planet. Admiral, while we've been talking, 3 more Federation scout ships have entered our solar system. All 3 have been captured, and their crews are now in our custody. The alien admiral's eyes widened in shock. That's impossible. I ordered all reconnaissance missions to stop. Apparently, your orders didn't reach everyone, Colonel Mitchell said from his position near the door. Or perhaps some parts of your Federation don't want to accept the new reality. Dr. Jake Morrison activated a holographic display in the center of the table. It showed the solar system with dozens of small markers indicating Federation vessels that had been captured over the past months. Admiral, we now have 20 Federation ships in our possession and over 500 alien crew members. Each new capture teaches us more about your technology and your weaknesses. Science Officer Nixara spoke for the first time since entering the room. Her voice was soft and musical, like water flowing over rocks. General Stone, how did you learn to improve our technology so quickly? Our science teams spend decades developing new systems. Dr. Amy Rodriguez answered with a slight smile. Officer, Nixara, humans have one advantage that your Federation species seem to lack. We don't just accept that something works. We always ask how we can make it work better. She activated her own tablet, showing technical diagrams of Federation and human-modified equipment. Your people designed a shield generator that could absorb a certain amount of energy before failing. We asked why it couldn't absorb more. Your weapon systems had a maximum power output. We asked why they couldn't shoot stronger beams. Your engines could reach a specific speed. We asked why they couldn't go faster. Admiral Velthok studied the diagrams with growing amazement. You increased the power output by routing energy through crystalline matrices that shouldn't be able to handle those levels. Shouldn't according to your science, Dr. Rodriguez corrected. But we tested it anyway. We tried materials your people never considered. We combined systems in ways your engineers said were impossible, and we made them work. This is why Earth represents such a significant development, General Stone said. Admiral, your Federation has remained largely unchanged for thousands of years. You have advanced technology, but you've stopped advancing. You've become comfortable with what you have. Tactical Officer Raxgor growled softly, his gray skin darkening with anger. You speak as if the Federation has become weak. Not weak, Colonel Mitchell replied. Complacent. You sent spy ships to watch Earth for months, and you never once considered that we might be watching you back. You never imagined that we could capture your vessels. You certainly never thought we could improve upon your technology. General Stone stood and walked to the large window that looked out over the hidden facility. Through the transparent aluminum, she could see Federation starships sitting in human hangars, being studied by teams of human scientists and engineers. Here's what I think happened, she said. Your Federation became so successful that you stopped expecting challenges. You stopped pushing the boundaries of what was possible. You stopped asking what if and started accepting good enough. She turned back to face the alien delegation. Humans have never been satisfied with good enough. When we saw your technology, we didn't just want to understand it. We wanted to make it better, and we did. Admiral Velthok was quiet for several minutes, studying the holographic displays and technical diagrams. Finally, he spoke in a voice that sounded tired and defeated. General Stone, what exactly do you want from the Federation? Full, diplomatic recognition of Earth as an independent world. An immediate end to all surveillance activities in our solar system. Formal trade agreements between Earth and Federation worlds. And membership in your galactic community with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. And in return, Dr. Lisa Cameron activated another display, this one showing comparison charts between original Federation technology and human improved versions. We share our technological improvements with the Federation. Your weapons become more powerful. Your shields become stronger. Your ships become faster. Your entire civilization benefits from what we've learned. Science Officer Nixara leaned forward, her silver eyes reflecting the holographic data. These improvements would revolutionize Federation technology, ships that could travel twice as fast, weapons that could defend against any known threat, energy systems that could power entire worlds. Exactly, Dr. Amy Rodriguez said. Admiral, Earth doesn't want to be your enemy. We want to be your partner, but we refuse to be your victim. Admiral Velthok looked at his fellow officers, then back at the humans across the table. And our people who are currently in your custody will be returned to the Federation as a gesture of goodwill once our formal agreements are signed, General Stone said. They've been treated well and many of them have actually been helpful in our research programs. Helpful how? Dr. Jake Morrison grinned. Admiral, it turns out that many of your crew members are just as curious about improving technology as we are. Once they understood what we were trying to do, several of them volunteered to help with our research projects. The alien admiral's expression showed his shock. Federation officers worked with you willingly. Science has no boundaries, Admiral. Your people and our people working together have accomplished things that neither could have achieved alone. Colonel, Mitchell stepped forward with a data pad in his hands. Admiral, your government has 48 hours to respond to our proposals. After that time, Earth will consider itself free to act in whatever way we deem necessary to protect our interests. Is that a threat? General Stone walked back to the table and sat down. It's a statement of fact, Admiral. Earth is no longer hiding from the galaxy. We're no longer willing to be watched and studied like laboratory animals. We're ready to take our place among the civilized worlds, but we'll do it as equals, not as subjects. Admiral Velthok stood slowly, his large frame towering over the humans in the room. I will carry your message to the Federation Council, but I must warn you. There are those in our government who will see Earth as a threat that must be eliminated. Then they'll discover just how thoroughly we've prepared for that possibility, Dr. Amy Rodriguez said calmly. Admiral, we've had over a year to study your technology and your tactics. We know how the Federation fights and we've designed our defenses accordingly. You would really fight the entire Federation? General Stone smiled. Admiral, we wouldn't have to fight the entire Federation. We'd only have to defeat the ships they send to attack us, and every ship they lose would become part of Earth's growing fleet. The truth of this statement hung in the air like a challenge. The Federation could attack Earth, but every assault would only make humanity stronger and the Federation weaker. Admiral Velthok nodded slowly. I understand your position, General Stone. I will recommend to the Federation Council that they accept your proposals. And I hope they do, Admiral, because the alternative benefits no one. As the alien delegation prepared to leave, Science Officer Nixara turned back to the humans. General Stone, may I ask you something? Of course. If our species had approached Earth openly from the beginning, would you have been willing to share your technological improvements without all this conflict? General Stone considered the question carefully. Officer Nixara, if the Federation had come to Earth as friends instead of spies, we would have been honored to work together. The galaxy lost valuable time because your people chose secrecy over cooperation. The alien officer nodded thoughtfully. Perhaps that is the most important lesson Earth can teach the Federation, that sometimes the direct path is better than the hidden one. 6 months later, Earth was formally admitted to the Galactic Federation as an independent member world. Human-designed technology began appearing throughout Federation space, making ships faster, weapons more effective, and defenses stronger than ever before. The galaxy would never be the same. A small blue planet that was supposed to be quietly observed had instead become one of the most important worlds in known space. And it all started with 17 alien,